Vegfest, and I'm going to introduce our next speaker, the wonderful Sue-Ann Gardner. She's a holistic nutritionist, and she's going to share her story with how she found a plant-based diet, and maybe you might be on the same personal journey. So anyway, thanks for coming, guys, and here she is.
Hi there, thank you all for having me here today. As I said, my name is Sue-Ann Gardner, and I'm a holistic nutritionist student at the moment, so I should be finished by the end of this year and hopefully start my own business as a plant-based holistic nutritionist. So I'm here today to talk to you vegan for health. And as I say, there are a lot of stories about people turning towards veganism for their health, for animals, and as I say, for the whole world. What made me change? I was unable to cope with the pain and the side effects of IBS. Constant diarrhea, couldn't go anywhere. Couldn't, if I go to the mall, I knew I had to have that quick stop. The pain, when you have your intestines constantly twisting, you are in so much pain. I kept going to my doctors, trying to get prescriptions for medications. It got to the point that these medications were making me sick. There was nothing else I could take. Again, depression. I was depressed. I kept eating and eating because I was depressed. And as I said, my weight expanded. I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of that, there was nothing else. I kind of was giving up. I went to a nutritionist to try and help me, and paid my $100. Went in, told her my story, and I was handed the Canadian Food Guide. And I went to the car, and I'm like, I really should have just flushed that $100 down the drain, because there was just, I had no hope. It's hard when you're big. Really hard when you're big, and you go see these people, and you're like, and they're small, and they're young, and you're like, well, here I am, I'm old and I'm fat. It's hard. It's really hard. And as I say, I was waiting for the gastric sleeve. I went to my doctor, so depressed, crying. He's like, okay, we can put you on the list for a gastric sleeve. And as I say, that's 80% of your stomach gone, which leaves you about this. So you had to have high protein consumption. And my family didn't want me to have the surgery done. I mean, this is a big surgery. This is a complete life change, you know. And you don't know about the complications. And this is the other thing, you know, I was actually scared of what was actually going to happen next to me. You know, was I going to have a heart attack by the time I reached 40? Was I going to be on medication for type 2 diabetes? Luckily, I hadn't been on medication for my high cholesterol, but it was coming. I was unable to cope with my IBS. I was in pain daily. I also gave up sugar. Sugar actually increases the bad bacteria into your gut. It increases the yeast into your gut. So I went, okay, I need to start getting away from sugar and start increasing the good bacteria into my gut. I also had to research how to properly fuel my body without meat and without becoming deficient, which meant taking ground flax seeds every day for my omega-3. And as I say, we vegans know that we must take our B12 because we consume no animal products. And we also should be taking a complex because your folic acid can mimic a B12 deficiencies. So it's very, very important to vegans. And I also learned not to turn towards pre-packed meals as they still were processed and they still contain sugar and preservatives. They're still great. I still have them. But it's not something that I turn to every day. It is quite handy to turn toward these, you know, non-chicken chicken, I call them, you know, to make my fajitas and my meatless meats to make my, you know, kind of thing. But what I learned was turning more towards basically home cooking. You know, we kind of lost that. Somewhere along the line, we lost how to cook. So if I made a spaghetti, I made extra. I bulked out the spaghetti. I put in my bok choy, I put in my kale, I put in my leeks, I put in my spinach, I put in my peppers. My spaghetti is humongous, and it lasts me for meals and meals. And same with my lentil loaf. I can get 6 meals out of a lentil loaf. Actually, if I have half of it, I can have 12 meals. And Pinterest. Who doesn't love Pinterest? We must pin. I pin on everything. I pin on my vegan meals. I pin on my gluten-free vegan meals. It's wonderful. If you don't have Pinterest, find it and pin. Very important. Protein, protein, protein. This is every question a vegan gets. Where do you get your protein from? And as I say, it's simple. Legumes, 9 grams per half a cup. 8 grams. Lentils, 9 grams, half a cup. Tofu, 10 grams chopped up. I know a lot of people don't like tofu. I love tofu, but I've learned to cook tofu. And tofu is a blank slate. You must season it, and you must marinate it, and it must be organic. Because tofu, soy is one of the most polluted crops out there. So organic is the key. Quinoa, 8 grams per cup. Hemp hearts, 11 grams per 3 tablespoons. Simple, put it in a smoothie, throw it on your cereal. Tempeh, 12 grams per cup. I know it's kind of hard now to get tempeh around town. I don't know if anyone is still selling it. Nutritional yeast is what we vegans use for cheese. I throw it on everything, on my pizza, on my spaghetti, on everything. And as I said, you know, 8 grams per tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. And fruits, vegetables, vegan milks, cheeses, yogurts, peanut butter, etc., etc., etc. Protein is in everything. So we have no need to become deficient with our protein. As I said, if you eat right, you will get your protein.